Tornadoes are dangerous. What else am I gonna say? Hey folks, tornadoes are dangerous. That's the end of the video, right? You don't need to know anything else. Like, don't do something you don't know what you're doing. I'm not as geared into the storm chase community as I used to be. I don't follow all the happenings, all the drama, but I do see videos on YouTube. I see stuff being posted out there about near-death experiences and close calls with tornadoes. Now, this can happen on accident, complete accident. Things can just go sideways. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, right? But I'm seeing a lot of instances where you should have known better too, right? So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about some of the things that I've seen, but also some of the mistakes I've made, because I'm just as guilty as anybody else. But hey, I'm gonna use my failures to hopefully teach some valuable lessons, and other people's failures too. A couple things we're not going to do on this video. We're not gonna name names. We're not gonna cast blame on characters or individuals, because I don't think that's helpful. And I also don't think it's going to be productive to what we wanna do. People make mistakes. You're allowed to make mistakes. You may not be allowed to make a big mistake in storm chasing because, well, you won't get another storm chase, but you are allowed to make some simple mistakes. So we're gonna talk about a few ways that, like, is it possible to get close to tornadoes safely? That's the video question we're answering. That's the title of this video, I'm pretty sure, and we're going to do that. Let's dive in. Now, I'm guilty of this as well. I wanna start this so people can't say I'm taking a position holier than thou, something like that. That is not the case, that's not the intention. I'm just as guilty of messing this up. Tushka completely messed that up. Left of a tornado's path, it went sideways. Also, you have, well, the Dallas day, the North Texas day, not Dallas, but North Texas, where I also, well, played it a little too cute, right? So I just want to make sure that you realize that I'm coming at this from a position of experience and messing it up. And this is me kind of passing along some of the things that I look for and do if I'm going to get close to a tornado. So can it be safe to actually get close to tornadoes, right? That's what we're talking about here. We're trying to figure this out, right? The answer to this is yes, but I know it's a terrible way to give easy answers. You know, the video experts, the people who tell you, the consultants, they tell you, make videos simple. Give easy questions, easy answers, make it digestible. We're not doing that today. We are living in the area of grays because there are gray areas when it comes to storm chasing, decisions, etc. And I want to make sure that we are properly exploring them all. First thing that I would say that we absolutely need to keep in mind is that tornadoes are generally moving somewhere easterly, right? They're moving somewhere on an easterly fashion. Sometimes they will move west. There's a great video right here, April 19th, where tornadoes are moving northwest, but we can assume safely that the vast majority of our chases, we're going to be seeing tornadoes move northeast, east, southeast, something like that, maybe south, but usually east versus west. So we can start with that. Second thing we need to worry about and think about is that supercells produce tornadoes that can be deviant movers. There's a thing called a deviant tornado motion. You can look this up. That video is coming at some point in the near future. But I just want to, before we just dive in, we need to agree that tornadoes are dangerous. They're very, very, very dangerous. I hope you're enjoying this video. We are halfway through, right? So it's time to subscribe. Like this video, enable notifications. Yeah, we're getting there, right? Let's get back to it. Now, a rule that I started after the Tushka tornado was we were going to stay right of the tornado's path at all costs, at all times. This means that when there's a rain-wrapped tornado, I'm probably not seeing it. And I'll explain that a little bit later, like why I see that as an acceptable trade-off, but I'm not gonna see those tornadoes. I'm gonna be south and east of most tornadoes. Why is that? Because that gives me a lot of angles, a big angle of escape if something goes sideways. because a lot of things can go sideways on a storm chase. We'll talk about that here in a second too. But you have to know that you got to make sure the first thing you do, if you're going to play around with supercells, is you make sure that you have a clear path to clear air, because if you do not, that's where stuff starts happening. Another important clue as to whether it's safe to get close to tornadoes or not, we talked about escape options. Do you have roads that can make escape options, right? Your road options. Sometimes it's not possible to get close safely because you're going to have to go down a road and you're going to get cut off by the tornado or by a huge hail, something like that. Like your risk level is yours to gauge. I'm not telling you how to chase. I'm just telling you that, like, if you are going into a situation where there's one road in, one road out, you are limiting your ability, you're limiting the amount of things that can go wrong before things go really, really wrong. Here's the deal. If you are chasing and you're close to this tornado, developing tornado or tornado, the less distance between you and that tornado, the fewer things that have to go wrong for you to get into big trouble, right? Like it could be anything. It could be power lines that have been knocked down. It could be a road closed. It could be flooded roads. It could be the fact that your car just decides that while that tornado is bearing down on you, yeah, it's a good time to break down. I don't want to run anymore. These are all things you have to keep in mind. You are not 100% guaranteed safety when you're closer. That's just the simple fact. The closer you are, the fewer things that can go wrong, and the more unsafe it is going to be. If you're gonna get close to tornadoes, that's something you have to keep in mind, and you always have to work on eliminating those uncertainties as much as possible, because things happen out there. Now, how I approach getting close is very simple, actually. I am usually staying back from a storm. I'm getting this beautiful view of the storm structure, the entire structure, because we teach here at Tornado Times, we teach storm structure behavior, and being a bit back is a really good way to teach how storms evolve. Now, I'm going to get close to tornadoes, and I'm even going to break my stay right rule sometimes if there is a good, clear escape option. But I do all these things on a very calculated basis. I try not to get toward a tornado, get close to a tornado without a couple of things being obvious. First, that this tornado has established. So we kind of got a predictable nature of what's going on. Second, I got great road options. So I do have an escape option, and I'm on that escape option. I don't deviate from it because I want to just we're going to make this work a little better. A couple other things that I keep in mind when I am going after tornadoes from close range. There are a couple of rules I have that I've developed over the years. The first one is it's actually a pretty simple rule that some people will disagree with, and there might even be someone comment and say they disagree with this, but I never go after a close intercept of a rain-wrapped tornado. That sounds really obvious, right? Like if you can't see the tornado, you probably don't want to be going into that. There aren't many rain-wrapped tornadoes that I've ever seen that were so photogenic that I really regretted not going in there and seeing them. So not only are there's no tornado worth losing your life over, worth getting hurt over, but also there's no tornadoes that are they're not the same, but also it's okay to miss, not be the closest to an event sometimes. It's okay to just sit back and enjoy what you're seeing, marveling at the science happening in front of you, and also being ready to do things like relay reports, help people if communities are impacted, if you have that type of training, those sorts of things. Those are sometimes more important than being closest to a tornado. Being close is an incredible experience, though, I will tell you that. Nothing in this world compares to that power that you feel. It's awe-inspiring. But you got to keep your wits about you, and you have to be ready to make moves, because tornadoes, yeah, they're dangerous. The thing that you have to keep in mind is this, is that doing things that are dangerous can sometimes turn dangerous, right? If you're going to get close to tornadoes, they're dangerous, and it might end up dangerous at some points. Don't be surprised by this. If you overchase your abilities, lose sight of the tornado but keep going, any of those things, have good common sense. Know when it's time to quit. You're not going to win any awards for seeing that rain-wrapped tornado. Remember, weather's for everybody. That includes you. If you want to get close to tornadoes, make sure that you're being safe. But hey, getting close to tornadoes is for everybody too, if that's what you want to do. You have to be careful, and be sure to stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and we'll see you next time.